wields one of the mightiest weapons in the universe, and both thunder and lightning are at his beck and call. His power is mighty enough to destroy entire worlds. He is the defender of his people, and one of the mightiest warriors in the known universe. He is strong and powerful enough to match a Herald of Galactus in combat, but is humble enough to know his own character faults. Who am I talking about? Well, if you said Thor, you're wrong. Actually, I'm talking about his closest confidant and friend, Beta Ray Bill. Beta Ray Bill is one of those characters in comics that some would call a palette swap. Basically, a character whose powers and appearance are very similar to a mainstay character, if not the same, but they've got some sort of character difference, whether it be in look or the way that they act or what have you. To make a parallel, Beta Ray Bill is to Thor what War Machine is to Iron Man. The journey of these two warriors started in Walt Simonson's legendary run on the Mighty Thor. Nick Fury asks Donald Blake, Thor's alter ego, to investigate a ship passing through the Earth's solar system. Thor does as Fury asks, and the ship attacks him. As the ship fails to stop Thor, it awakens its last resort, the protector of the Corbinite people, Beta Ray Bill. It's during the struggle that Mjolnir falls to the ground, and as the fight goes on, it turns into a stick. At the time, Thor had a weakness. If he's separated from Mjolnir for longer than a minute, he reverts to the Donald Blake form. It is during this time that Bill picks the stick up and strikes it against something, showing that he is able to lift Mjolnir. Historically speaking, this was huge. Many people took the idea of the enchantment of Thor's hammer to mean that only he can lift it, and that's not the case as history has shown as comics have gone on. There are others who have been able to lift it, but Bill was the first. Walt Simonson had the following to say about it at Baltimore Comic Con in 2010. One of the cool things about Thor was the enchantment around Mjolnir and the original inscription on it. So I thought, well, that means someone else can pick up the hammer and get this power, if they're worthy. So since then, some other big characters, people's favorites, have picked up the hammer. Captain America, Superman, whoever. But at this point, no one had ever picked up the hammer. I like the idea of Cap walking into the bathroom and seeing it, and grabbing it and just tugging, not being able to. So this had to be someone new. This is the most powerful weapon of the Norse gods. This hammer is a killing weapon. It's used to kill frost giants and others. So Superman couldn't pick it up because he's never going to kill anyone. And the hammer knows that. Captain America? He's too patriotic. He's too much of a symbol of America to be chosen by this Norse artifact. So he couldn't get it. So I created Bill because he's noble and he's designed to kill. He's got a great purpose as a warrior and also the noble ability. That makes him worthy, whatever that may be. After this event happened, Odin brings Bill to him, and after a small misunderstanding recognizes Bill as a warrior. The Allfather, Odin, and Thor, along with Bill, speak of each of their histories. And after telling Odin the plight of the Corbinites, Bill speaks his case to keep possession of Mjolnir, given that he did beat Thor fair and square in his eyes. Thor, obviously, objects to this, but Odin in his wisdom sets up a contest between the two. Whomever should win a battle between the two will hold the power of Mjolnir. Oh, by the way, it's a fight to the death. As I show you these images from the Walt Simonson book, you'll start to see why some people are a bit bummed out that Bill, obscure as he is, will probably never make a full-blown appearance in the MCU. The battle between Beta Ray Bill and Thor and Skartheim is an epic one, but it's also full of regret. The two obviously respect one another, but they're out to have the power to protect their people, and to possess it, one of them must die. At the end of the battle, the two knock each other out, but Bill wakes up first. As they're set to catapult over a lava fall to their deaths, Bill does something that he need not do. He picks Thor up and leaps for the shore to save the Odinson's life. Even as the two recover, Bill is concerned for the well-being of his opponent, and suggests that Odin picked Skartheim because Bill was born on a planet of intense heat, and thus would be able to recover faster than Thor would. It is after all these events that Allfather Odin commissions the dwarves to forge a new weapon, one that he empowers with the Odin Force and makes equal to Mjolnir. He instructs Bill to pull the weapon from the forge, and after that, Bill is changed forever. The equal to Thor, Beta Ray Bill. The two warriors set off with Sif to defeat the demons that pursue the Corbinites, and the rest is history. Since then, Bill has had many different appearances in the Thor book. Now, as a character, I've stated before that many characters are emblematic of a certain idea or concept. For Bill here, it's hard to pin down just one. If I had to pick one, it would be honor. You see, Bill's a rare creature, in the sense that he's a very chivalrous type. Now, don't get me wrong, he's a savage warrior. I think that's what sets him apart from Thor. Oftentimes he restrains himself much less than Thor does. For example, in Stormbreaker, the saga of Beta Ray Bill, which is an incredible miniseries, Bill has no problem destroying an entire planet, one that's not occupied, in the course of trying to kill a Herald of Galactus. Heck, he even hit Galactus so hard in that same miniseries that he cracked Galactus' head. At the same time, he's always put the well-being of others over himself. At a time when Thor was afflicted with the warrior madness, he could have just beaten Thor in a fight and then brought him home to Odin. Instead, he tries to talk his brother down, nearly getting killed in the process. There's also this quote from Beta Ray Bill, the Green of Eden, that I adore. To give you context, at one point, Galactus has destroyed Bill's people. He's the only Corbinite left in the universe, and as such he says, "I am alone. I look at the heavens and I think them empty. And if not empty, I find the idea of worshipping whatever dwells there obscene." Now Skrulls, who were part of the failed attempt at overthrowing Asgard, that are looking for a new god, and have him pegged for it, ask him why he continues on. Why does he continue the fight? Bill answers, "It doesn't change what's right. If there is nothing but what we make in this world, brothers, let us make good." There's another moment in comics that's a bit more recent that also characterizes Bill incredibly well. Like I said, recent book, excellent miniseries, The Unworthy Thor has come out. And in the first issue, Beta Ray Bill meets Thor Odinson at a spot in the cosmos where Asgard used to be, but was stolen. Now to give you context, I'm not going to tell you why, but Nick Fury, in a battle with the Avengers, whispered something to Thor that caused him to become unworthy. That's why he doesn't have Mjolnir at this time. Now Bill says that he's heard about this, and thus he kneels before his oath brother, raises Stormbreaker, and says, "Take mine." He doesn't know why Thor is not wielding Mjolnir, and it doesn't matter to him. He loves his oath brother so much that he's willing to sacrifice a power that he rightly earned, just so Thor can be whole again. I'll say right now that I'm not too proud to say that this brought a tear to my eye when I first read it. Beta Ray Bill has the power to destroy entire worlds at his fingertips. He and Thor Odinson are two of the mightiest heroes in the Marvel Universe, and yet they're willing to lay themselves low to save lives and solve issues. Bill might not be a looker, but he's a true hero, willing to lay down his life for another. In the end, it's that spirit of self-sacrifice, that spirit of caring, and that spirit of honor that make a hero, and what makes Beta Ray Bill one of my favorite comic book characters of all time. If you're interested in reading more of Beta Ray Bill, my recommendations is to start with the Walt Simonson run on Thor. There's a lot of collections out there that you can find, so pick your poison and how you want to buy it. Second, there's some miniseries that I would recommend. First is Stormbreaker, the saga of Beta Ray Bill, which happens right after Thor disassembled in the Ragnarok event. Then there's Green of Eden, which is right after Secret Invasion. And finally, following that story directly, is God Hunter, a great character-driven story as Bill struggles with building hatred of Galactus, destroying his people. And then finally, as I mentioned, there's the recent Unworthy Thor, which is 5 issues of Bill and Thor being awesome. All of those get my recommendation, so definitely look at picking them up. Well, that concludes today's Things I Love, guys. My name is Micah Curtis. I'll see you next time. Deus Volt!